Good morning. And good morning to those who are joining us on Zoom. We have one guest today. Can anyone guess who it is? Welcome, Elena. And we're going to start off this morning, Jeannie, with a Rotary Minute.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So every time I do a Rotary Minute, I'm shocked at what I don't know about Rotary. So I'm assuming there's several of you that are in the same boat as I am. So when I went to Rotary.org to prepare for this, I went to two different places. One was our programs, which I think a lot of us, or I thought we knew a lot about, but there was several on there that I literally knew nothing about. So one of them is called a Peace Fellowship. Raise your hand if you know about the Peace Fellowship. Okay, so a couple, good. Well, for those of us who don't, each year Rotary awards up to 130 fully funded fellowships for dedicated leaders from around the world to study at one of our peace centers. And basically the fellowships offer master's degrees. 50 of them are for master's degrees and 80 are for certificate studies at premier universities. And I just had no idea that we funded people from all over the world for this type of a program. And basically we coordinate with existing universities and we pay full tuition, travel expenses and everything. It's an unbelievable opportunity for those lucky 100 and what I say, 40, 30. Yep, thank you. 130 folks that get the fellowship. So you can read more about it. There's a lot of detail on the website, but I just thought it was something that we should all be embracing and know about, and know that the deadline for the applications is in February. So it's also timely if anyone knows anyone or anyone wants to participate, and you don't have to be a Rotarian to get the fellowship. So there we have it. And then the other thing I actually learned that I was kind of looking for was, you know how we get the magazine each month? Well, we also have under news and features, you can look at the magazine electronically, or you can listen to podcasts from articles in the magazine. So if you're making dinner and you can't be reading it, you can be listening to it. And the link is right there. So that's my Rotary Minute.
Thank you. I actually did not know about the podcast. Yeah, cool. All right, and now Terry is going to deliver our inspiration.
Good morning, everybody, and on this cold morning, I have a little poem here that I heard when I was in the State House as a representative about 5 years ago from a committee member that from my committee, and this is about baseball because baseball season is coming, and a number of our good folks are here that are followers of baseball teams. So this is a little poem about a little boy who thinks he's the greatest, and that's the name of the poem. And picture a little boy coming out onto a field somewhere, probably by himself with a baseball bat in his cap. And so the poem goes like this. Little boy in a baseball hat stands in a field with his ball and bat. He boldly declares, "I am the greatest player of them all." With confidence, he puts his bat on his shoulder, tosses up the ball. When the ball goes up, and the ball comes down, he swings his bat, aiming for the crown. But alas, fate has a twist in store. For this little boy's dreams, it has much more. He strikes himself out. The ball slips away, yet he doesn't falter, nor does he sway. Instead of feeling down, he grins with glee, realizing he's a pretty good pitcher, you see. he struck out the greatest hitter himself. A lesson learned, a shift in perspective, newfound wealth. Perhaps life isn't about hitting every ball out of the park. Sometimes it's about adjusting our eyes until we find our spark. So that little boy became a legend on the mound. His pitches fierce, his spirit unbound. He didn't quit, he adapted, he grew, and in striking himself out, greatness he knew. And as the sun sets on the baseball field, he stands tall, knowing that resilience is the ultimate shield. For even when life throws curveballs our way, we can still be the greatest, no matter what they say.
That is indeed inspirational. Thank you, Terry. So a couple quick announcements, and then we'll have a business meeting that wasn't originally planned, but I think it's gonna be really useful, because Sherry didn't really get a chance to do her fundraising thing at our last business meeting and has a lot to share with us. And then Andy is also gonna share with us a new tool for event planning and management. There is a get well card for Bill Skiff over on the table, if anyone wants to sign that.
Do we have an address if we also want to send individual cards to him?
Actually, Pastor Paul is working on getting the right address for us to use. So we can share that broadly.
Yes.
Yeah, great. So I'll get that out, or someone will get that out to everybody. And then I guess the other thing that Sherry may share this too is just to remember to purchase your tickets for the Story Slam if you are able at our meeting, and then we won't pay all those online processing fees of buying them online. We are carefully tracking both sources of sales so that we'll not oversell the event. But yeah, we're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Okay, well, any other announcements before we turn it over to Sherry?
I would just like to amend Jean's, minute.
Mhm.
Look, to make you feel a little bit more proud of being a Rotarian, Rotary has set up a trust that will pay for the East Foundation's scholarships ad infinitum. They put, I don't remember, this was a few years ago, but at the time it was like $350 million into a trust with the interest every year to make sure that this program maintains itself ad infinitum. So, it's just one more place that you can be proud of being a Rotarian.
Yeah, that's terrific to have it so well endowed.
Yeah.
Great, thanks. for-
I was searching for that word. Endowed.
Yeah, no, that's great. It's such an important effort, and I think these fellows then go out throughout, the world, and they have a real impact in the countries where they live. Okay, cool. All right. Well, Sherry, turn it over to you.
Okay, so I did not prepare too many notes, so it won't be super long. I was off, don't laugh. There's a wood turning group, they call themselves, the Woodchucks. A meeting last night, so I was off meeting Woodchucks. The Pidgeon Woodchuck. Anyway, so fundraising, you guys. I think I kept just kind of kicking the can down the road here, until just a conversation with Susan a couple days ago, realizing we have like a $20,000 goal, of which we're about maybe $3,200 into. So we need to start raising some funds. And we have a variety of ways to do this. Obviously, the Skiff Story Slam is foremost on my mind, and a lot of people. That's probably going to bring us a couple $1,000. Possibly more, with Jen and the group going, trying to gather some other funds also. But it realistically is probably gonna be a couple $1,000, which is great. And it's a way to raise money and have fun. But we're still gonna need more, right? If we wanna keep doing all these awesome things that we do, it takes money. So I'm going to kind of just do two things. One, the story slam, I'm not gonna go into too much today, because we have a committee that's been meeting weekly, and really making awesome progress. If there's anyone here that didn't join a specific committee but still wants to help in the last couple weeks, please, see me, we'll sign you up. I know that Rafa is going to need people to help with the food on the night of the event, so if there's people that can help, you know, just the day of the event and not really ahead of time, just let us know. Food committee, we have a committee of people putting things together, but only one person, Rafa, will actually be here that night. So she's just gonna need help replenishing the supplies and stuff like that, and doing the dishes and cleaning up. So, so please, there's that. Probably one or two other committees that just, might need some manning, some people helping, staffing. It's a different table. You know, I don't know, like, pretty much we could have a job for everybody, to do, and still obviously be able to hear the stories and enjoy it, but just the prep work, setting up, breaking down, and during the event, there will be a few, jobs. We are going to have Rotarians reading, tidbits, which are like little histories or little comments about, Rotary and what we do in between our storytellers. So there probably should be like 7 probably tidbits being read. So we'll everyone will get their little piece of paper with their tidbit. We're gonna make sure to print it large so that if you forget your reading glasses, you can still see it. And then you'll have a microphone, a wireless mic to read the tidbit. That's just giving time in between the storytellers leaving the stage, going back up to the stage. So, you know, if there's Rotarians at the event, we're gonna ask, that you know, maybe read a tidbit. If I'm forgetting, if there's anybody on the committee that needs help, just let me know and we'll find people. And if you can help, Marty.
Yeah, just a quick question for the team. We had, before Bill got so ill, arranged for him to give us a copy, an autographed copy of his book. I don't know I didn't have anything to do with that, but does anyone know if we have the book? I have it. You have it. I have it.
Yeah. So yeah, we have prizes. We haven't figured out really how many prizes and how many places we're gonna award prizes to yet. Might just kind of depend on how many keep coming in. Or, you know, if we give first and second prize and then we do find a way of giving prizes to the audience. You know, we want people to keep coming back because I see this as an event that we keep doing. I think once we figure it out, I think it's gonna go pretty well and be kind of easy for us to do. Going forward. So you know, again, it's not a huge moneymaker, but it's a moneymaker and it's a community event. So
I was just curious about the day of, like as far as when we have access to the room, when we should start setting up, because I'm in charge of setting up the room and I will need help.
oh, we're gonna need a lot of help setting
Yeah.
up. So this is the kind of the quandary that we're in, is that there's a group in the space until 3 o'clock.
Oh, that's tight.
Right, but if we're super well organized and we have a mass of people,
Mhm.
we should be able to do this, because, you know, with all the different committees, you know, as long as like Rick is, you know, and Chris, they've got the stage, and, you know, and the food committee, if everybody just has their people and, you know, everybody shows up, I think it can be done. And then, but I'm also, Pastor Paul connected me, we haven't talked yet, but with the person that's, using the space ahead of us. So if somebody feels like they need to set up early, something, you know, that's not too intrusive, say the stage, for instance, and we want to put a divider around it for the group, you know, say you want to do it in the morning or the day before, and then you know, put the divider up and it's there. I can run that by the people that are gonna be using the space ahead of us. But if you don't think you need that, then, you know, I won't bother. But so I'm throwing that out to the committee member, chairs to let me know what you could need.
Why don't we just call in a bomb threat at like 2?
Just have a conversation about peace.
There'll be peace after.
Okay, so we should all be here at 3 o'clock on that Saturday.
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, and let's just work on being super organized ahead of time, because realistically, it shouldn't be that bad. It's setting up the chairs, setting up the stage, and the food, we've really toned it down a lot on the food. And the PR committee's doing the table, to keep track of people and their tickets coming in. And so if every committee chair just knows exactly what they need and communicates it to whomever they need help from, and we're all here to do it, it should be able to go lickety split, you know, I mean, setting up 125 chairs, that'll take a few minutes. But let's just make sure there's 125 chairs down here, you know, ahead of time, so that we can just do that, and yeah. Leslie,
How many people in the room think they'll be here on Slam night? Yeah,
Whoa.
that's our club. How about on Zoom?
oh, I can't see.
Ellie.
Those are other glasses.
Ellie,
Ellie, oh, good, Ellie's gonna be here on that night. Who else is up there?
Rafa.
Rafa will be here. Who else is up there? Bill.
Oh, that just makes me. so
Dave's
happy.
out of town. Yeah, so that's so good. So even if you have to, you come at 3 o'clock, help set up, and you have to go home and beautify and then come back, you know, whatever, but.
That on your checklist. You asked us a couple times to get our tickets ahead of time.
Yeah.
What's? Are you through? You have them? Do we get a physical?
Well,
ticket?
no, you get your name on the list, and then we're keeping a master list, and that when people come in, we check them off.
Okay, so if we're getting us, you don't want us to do it online because there's a.
Yep.
fee, So we.
I'll write your name down. Yep, you give me the
We give it to
money.
you.
Yep.
Okay.
And and then I'm giving my list to Susan,
Yeah.
so she'll integrate it with the online people's. So I think I have 11 so far.
We have 16 online.
So I kind of thought, I don't know, I wish there was a way to rebroadcast. Elizabeth did such an awesome interview, you guys. What's the
DMT.
VMT? It was so good. Just so, yeah. I mean, you're so professional and you're so chill and just really, I don't know, I was just so impressed.
Can we share a link and then we
I
can share
did.
it? Oh,
So the minutes that I put out through Club
Oh, I didn't
Runner
see that.
yesterday,
Okay.
right at the top is the link.
perfect.
But if you also just go right to their website, you can go scroll through each
Okay,
day
perfect.
and click on it.
That way we can maybe share it with other people.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it was really good.
Oh, thanks.
So, yeah, and so Matt's gonna talk, he's gonna get his 5 minutes, right before intermission. It's gonna be kind of I know it looks daunting when you look at the schedule and it's 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. You know, we're gonna have to just try to try to stay as close. Obviously, it's not perfect, right? But if we're going to try to finish at 7:30-ish, then it's important that we try to maintain a schedule.
There's a way to enforce that.
Yes,
Make the music really loud.
yes, but you have musicians for the event. so-
Elena can make her bass sound really terrible if we need to.
We might leave it in the
So
beginning.
there's
right?
people, there's a great committee of people thinking about all the things that could potentially go wrong. And so we're trying to, just trying to kind of, I don't know, ahead of time, try to foresee things.
What will you do if there's a bomb?
Oh, Chris, There's the exit door right
President
there.
Joe, give us a check.
Take his phone away from him. But yeah, so if anybody, even if you're not gonna be here, but you wanna be able to try to help for any last minute things, you know, just to feel part of it, I think we could find something. It's just it's a great group event, right? There's no one person doing everything. You know, there's committee chairs, like Rick and John on the stage. I don't know what to do with that stuff, you know, so that's these guys, let them do that. And, you know, Rafa and the food, and Jen, they've got that. So, you know, yes, it's, I think, gonna be really good. PR, you guys are blowing it out of the park. I mean, this, you guys.
Yeah.
It's awesome, right?
What is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Is there have we been getting payments online, like through whatever payment system you guys set up?
Yes, but they pay you 7 days after the event, so whatever the total is minus all their fees is what we'll get in like one lump sum.
I was just curious, because I went to the QR code and it brought us, I think it brought us to like our Rotary page, but it wasn't like in your face where to make the payment.
Yeah, there were two purchase tickets here, you know, buttons on that page,
Oh.
one right at the top and one a little further down, just to make it really easy to.
I must have missed both. I was just looking to see.
So far, people have found it, so I
Excellent.
hopefully they're not having trouble.
Well,
But.
When I was on the radio the other day, when I said where to find the tickets, he pulled it up right there. He just searched for Skiff Story Slam and all of those came up. The 7 days tickets came up, our website came up, all of that. So, it seemed like it was pretty simple. I haven't searched it, but he did it right there. So.
Jude?
One of the points I was making when we had our meetings, meeting on Wednesday, I saw there was a full page ad from the head of the Flynn indicating that because of the pandemic and other issues, safety issues too, they're really struggling. And so they're gonna do a 3-day committee meeting and anyone can do it and it's for free and they're giving meals and everything to try and figure out their way forward and how they do that. And so I was thinking when we had our meeting for this event yesterday morning, that a lot of people are probably a little leery now going into Burlington, that we never had that feeling before. And so I think more and more people are going to be looking for things that they can go to that are in their own community. So this is our first year to do this. But I think that we may find as we go forward and really perfect it, that we'll have more and more people coming to this that might not have if things weren't seriously a problem going into Burlington at night.
Well, Williston's getting to be a fairly large community.
Yep.
So.
Just itself.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that just having any event here that, you know, a gathering in February, just no matter what it is, will bring people out, I hope. But yeah, I think we could be onto something there. Anybody else? Oh, Sally?
Where's the food coming from?
I think we're getting, Jen, did some reconnaissance, at Costco. Jen, you want to talk about the food at all? Or Rafa's on up there too.
Yeah, if Rafa wants to speak, I think she's probably the better person to do so. I mean, I did go to Costco and scope out some food. It sounds like after that, I'm not sure when, that it was, some more decisions were made, so I feel like that wasn't
Okay,
part of that.
Rafa?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
So what the food committee has decided so far is that we're gonna offer 4 or 5 options for refreshments, so decaf considering the time of the day, tea, water, lemonade, and some sort of punch like sangria. And just keep it simple. Keep the pinwheel sandwiches that Jen is gonna get at Costco with a vegetarian option, which could also be another pinwheel sandwich. Howard got donut donations from a woman in Williston. Sherry, what's her business?
Emma's
Twisted down.
Twisted Donuts.
Yeah, and then Jude volunteered to make cookies for desserts that night.
Yeah, 200 of them.
And
With Sherry.
Yeah, you
thank
did.
you. And then for dishes, so we could keep costs down, Sherry suggested using as much as we can from what the church has in the kitchen, like the little plates and the smaller plates, and then just getting compostable napkins and cups for the refreshments. And then I'm looking for someone the day off just to help me organize, you know, refill foods and just making sure that the table is presentable for all the guests. And that's as far as we've gotten with the food committee.
Just one comment. I haven't confirmed anything with Costco, that they do have pinwheel sandwiches on a daily basis, but that was the last time I was there is when I looked at all the food choices and made the list. I haven't gone back to Costco to verify they would be able to do that on order and that they would be able to make vegetarian ones, et cetera. So I'm happy to do that this weekend because I will go to Costco, but that's still TBD.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the pinwheel sandwiches, I know you can order them from Costco if you need like a specific number. And then I checked the vegetarian options are the spinach wrap, so it's the green colored ones. So I checked that beforehand at Costco, and then we just have to make a decision on how many sandwiches we need. And I guess once we figure out what the attendance is going to be, we can order accordingly because they don't need more than 3 days heads up to fill the order.
Sorry, I didn't know you did all that.
Yeah, no worries.
I was like, I didn't think we were gonna do that yet. Okay, perfect.
Rafa's on top of it there, yeah. Well, okay, well, thanks. So that's just food committee, you guys. Just to give you a general update.
Just a quick question. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Just a quick question, and I don't want anyone to cringe, but it sounds to me like we're having a lot of wheat type items, and I just want to be sensitive to people who may be gluten-free. There's some options, and Jude, I wanted to check and see if you want help with cookies.
Okay.
Maybe I'll try a gluten-free cookie.
Yeah, we're gonna have like a cheese platter, vegetables, like a fruit platter. So we're doing that stuff too. So, but just not, we're not gonna get into the hot oven stuff
Right,
and
right. I realize that, and I'm not gluten-free, so I'm just trying to be sensitive to that population, and I don't even know.
yeah, I think they'll have choices.
The other thing is also, I'm not gonna put any nuts in anything, because a lot of people, have a nut allergy. It's
Susan-
real serious.
Susan, what did you say? You were hoping to have a bowl of mixed nuts.
Which is tricky with gluten-free. A lot of the mixes do have nuts. And I have a friend who's severely allergic to them and he almost died
Yeah.
eating dessert last week.
Aw.
Well, that really seals and doesn't,
People gonna stay to help clean up afterwards also?
yeah.
That's, if everyone reads the email, that I sent out, which I'm surprised I did it successfully with Club Runners.
Oh, good.
Good, dishwasher. So, but, you know, yeah, hopefully to break down and clean up everyone that can stay it would just be great. Obviously, everything goes faster, just like with setup. We have, the more people, the better. So moving on from Skiff Story Slam, obviously to reach Susan's goal of $20,000, we have a lot of work to do. Yeah. So if everyone remembers, hopefully this beautiful letter that was put together, Vince and the fundraising crew, Andy, I don't remember everybody that was on that committee, last year. Jen, you were on this committee. This letter is what I took around with me, last spring to help raise some money. And, I really think like if we just, and I feel like I harp on this every time I get up here, but it's just a really great, obviously fun fundraising events are great to do. But if we're really gonna bring in some money, we need to get out to some of these businesses and ask for money. And we live in a community that has a lot of business. So unlike a lot of towns in Vermont. So, but if we want to keep supporting like the youth leadership and all the different events that we do, we need some money. So I encourage everyone to really try to find a couple of businesses that you could feel comfortable going to and really more than a couple. Like if I went, say I went to 10 businesses, maybe 1 or 2 donated, you know, so you really need to hit up a lot of people and don't just approach the person standing at the front of the front desk or whatever, you know, ask for whoever the money person is, you know, the president of the business, you know, but really try to get the ear of the people that controls the pocketbook. Every donation doesn't have to be $1,000. You know, there are some that I expected 1,000, 2,000 from that donated 250. Fine, you know, it's something, right? So I actually created a challenge when I did it last year between construction companies. So, you know, ECI is gonna give $1,000 kind of thing, you know, and Scott Ireland's like, okay. So, okay, well, Ken gave 1,000. I was like, so I went out to the car. I was like, just so you know, I had to tell him that you gave 2,000. So that Scott didn't come through, and at least we got 2,000 out of ECI. You know, so, but I think just finding fun ways to approach businesses initially that you know, you don't probably expect anything from to kind of get your spiel down. You know, I probably did 10 till I felt like I had a really good, comfortable spiel going. And then started to really experience success with getting commitments to sending in money.
Yeah, I just want to add on to what Sherry said. I visited 10 in the fall, probably around October, and I had one that gave, and it was $250. What I learned from that, from a couple of them, was that they had already given. October was too late for them. So many of them, it's time right now, the January, February, March. So because they already committed, they gave for the year kind of thing. The other is a question. And it kind of prompted the Skiff Story Slam, and the discussion that Jen and I had and others had about we're designating this to heating assistance. But a question did come up. Somebody wanted to know if they could designate where their money went. And I said, fine. I didn't hear back because I wanted their money, but because they saw the list, but they had a preference and they wanted to know, could they designate it? And I didn't come back and ask the question, but I guess I can ask it now. So if somebody sees something on that list of many projects, is it okay to say, I'll give 250, I'll give 1,000, but I'd like it to go to scholarships or heating assistance
Yes.
or whatever. Can we do that?
Yes.
We can?
The budget has been set up. Jeannie's organized the charities budget so that we are able to direct funds. Obviously, we'd rather it just went into the general.
Yeah,
fund,
fine. Yeah,
'cause
but if
it's
somebody
less-
asks.
It's
Yeah.
less tracking for us, but we do have the ability to do
Yeah,
that.
I mean, somebody might have a passion. I mean, that's what I learned in higher education. You try to find out what their passion is. And so you say, is there anything on this list? Give to the Rotary because we do all of these things, or is there anything on here that kind of excites you? And there might be, it might be the second thing you will ask.
Mhm.
So if we're okay with that,
Yeah. get
my
back out there.
experience is find out what somebody's passion
Yes,
is.
Jeannie, am I speaking accurately for you on that topic?
Yes. Yes, I mean, we have one general fund, which is the $20,000 goal. We have the ability to break out and designate funds like we're doing for
For
the
the
story
skip.
slam.
Yeah.
But that's not gonna show up as income in the
Ah.
general fund if we break it out. So, I mean, it's just.
But we can
added up.
move money.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm
Okay.
sure, you know, when Andy takes over, he might have another idea for how to do it so that it's all, like it's a subcategory of the general fund.
Okay,
It's just an accounting thing, really.
okay.
But yes, I mean.
There's a way
anything-
around it.
Yeah, there's,
Okay.
anything's possible. It's
Okay.
just a matter of keeping track, sure that we know how to add up the total.
Great, okay. That's possible.
Yeah, anyone else questions? Sally?
Yeah, so, it seems to me that our visibility has fallen off a little bit in the last few months. Partly because we haven't done any big events since the senior luncheon. But, you know, we haven't advertised in Front Porch Forum for our speakers because we haven't had a lot of speakers in the last couple of months. I'd like us to get back on the radar because I think we should give individuals the opportunity to donate to the club as well. And we could figure out a way to either write a post on Front Porch Forum or in the Observer or somewhere, you know, delineating what it is we do and inviting people to make
Yeah.
donations to help us complete these projects.
Absolutely. I personally, I've just been going to businesses, but I think in general, like, I feel like I see lists of individuals with individuals' names that have given money. I don't know how.
Small numbers,
Yeah.
but I think it is worth, getting the drive message, charitable drive message out there.
Yeah.
On Front Porch Forum, there's no reason not to do that.
Mhm.
We have a donation page on our website, but, we don't have a lot of means to drive traffic there, so that would be one way. We are also now, we're doing a test, of using Facebook, and so we are gonna start, posting things on there, so that will be another, way to get visibility.
So Susan, we do have a PayPal account. Is that where the donation page on our website goes where? Does it go to the PayPal?
Yeah, it allows people to pay through PayPal. It should have instructions on sending us a check too, but we can double check and make sure that, because some people will be more comfortable with that.
Yep.
Vince?
Just a question for Sally. Were you talking about having donations to our club as different to our charitable fund? Are they different?
Well,
No, I mean, if somebody gives to charity, you can only use it for particular charities. Is there a way? Okay, I thought I heard that giving to our club as a different entity for maybe projects, because projects can't use charitable funds.
projects are charities.
Projects
Are charities, so
They're in the charity
really
budget.
any
Oh,
money
are
that
they?
comes to
Okay.
us is gonna go to charities.
Right.
Okay.
It's not gonna go to operations.
Okay,
Yeah,
We don't have any operations.
like our bench projects, or if we were to build a ramp for someone, that all goes to the charitable.
Okay.
budget.
All right, any questions on Zoom? All right, so in general, if somebody wants, if people are not comfortable going out and asking for money, but you really feel like you want to do it, but you're just not comfortable doing it, and you want any kind of a cheerleader or somebody to coach you or help or go with you on a little trip or whatever, go around to a couple businesses, we can do that. I just don't think, like, I know I was fairly successful last year at bringing in some money, but, and I'll do that again, but I don't think it really should just fall to one person. I think everybody could really reach out and try to get some money for the club. Leslie?
I think you're a great mentor. So anybody that wants to learn how to get money, I mean, listen, we're having a competition between construction companies. I also wonder, I know we've kind of talked about having fundraising be sort of an all year project, but I think to kind of speak to Chris's point, I'm wondering if we should really have a set time. First of all, it's not gonna fatigue members. It's not gonna confuse the community. So this is our fundraising push and we can publicize, we can get out there, we can
Yeah.
be talking things.
And I think that's really a fair point, and I don't think I really thought about that before, and I feel like it was Charlie that said, wait a minute, you know, why are we raising money now? You know, and I'm like, well, why not? But I understand now, I think. When I did this last year, I did it in the spring, and I remember mostly in early summer, maybe, it was easier getting in and out of my car.
Yeah.
So going into these places, like I wasn't trudging through ice and snow, like I'm not too crazy about doing that. But yeah, I think having maybe a couple of months and after when the new year starts and people have a new fresh bank account to donate money, makes a lot of sense.
Go ahead.
Marty?
Yeah, so I have to admit, I'm in that category of not feeling entirely comfortable with it, but I hit up a number of banks in the community. But it's impossible. You can't talk to the right coaches. They put you into corporate where you have to jump all through these hurdles. And these businesses that are profiting by being in our community, and they're not making any contribution, and it's like coming up against the stone wall. And these are major players in terms of business activity. In the community. Have any idea about how to crack that nut?
I just avoid them. I'm going for like the community family businesses, not the big corporate businesses. I mean, you can if you want to wait a long time, but then you have to keep calling and they only put out so much money per year. Of course, everybody's asking for it, and so they'll tell you, and I just don't even bother.
Yeah, there was one, I remember, they described what they wanted to fund, and what we were offering is precisely what they wanted, and they came back a long time later. That just doesn't fit our criteria.
Right, yeah, and that's, you know, like, Howard goes after the dental practices, and so, and I was going after construction companies. So if somebody finds like that they're comfortable with us in a certain, realm of, you know, businesses, then, you know, maybe get your spiel on somebody else first, figure it out, and then go to the businesses that you feel like you might get something from. And once you're comfortable, on how you're gonna approach them.
What are we, I'm sorry.
Well, and just one last idea, I'm sorry to belabor this very important conversation, but some of you are familiar with donor recognition categories. In fact, Rotary has one. The Paul Harris Award, I gather, is a donor recognition category, but that's internal. But we could conceive of and implement donor recognition categories for external contribution sources. And of course, you may be familiar with these in your alumni setting where or other donation contexts where there may be a gold, platinum, silver, or some more creative names. Often there, where the creativity comes in is if you tailor those donor recognition categories to the local context. So I can't think offhand what would be a good Willistonian example, but I'm sure there are plenty of them in this very creative group. We can come up with some very geographic and cultural specific to Williston donor recognition categories that might be enticing to the community. So just one last idea.
Yeah, we do have categories set by donation level. Maybe your idea is a little more creative than that.
In higher ed, a lot of times use, like we're doing with the Skiff Story Slam, if you can get a name or Ellie's mom for the 5K run. I mean, people relate to a name, right? And so the more you look at the things that we're supporting, if there's a way to associate a name with that event or that project. Your dad with the Easter egg hunt. I mean, they see, it's not just an Easter egg hunt, it's, you know, it's tied to an individual. That often helps. And then knowing where the money's gonna go and how the money's gonna be used is always critical.
And then one other event real quick, when I see Andy here. We were working at trying to get the pancake breakfast back at the fire station. We've been talking to Prescott, trying to talk to Prescott and then once in a while talking to Prescott. And he's supposed to talk to the chief. So we would love to be able to help them put on that pancake breakfast. And then if the chief really doesn't want to have it there, then maybe we would take it over. So that could potentially be a fundraiser. If we can't have it there though, then I don't know, it wouldn't be successful anywhere else. So just so you know, we're kind of working on that too, as a potential fundraiser.
I'm gonna suggest, since there is a fundraising committee, there's a lot of really good ideas percolating and probably some more discussion for people to get comfortable in working on the chair to drive and using the spreadsheet that Vince has created and all that. So would it make sense to have a fundraising committee meeting to dig into that or we could designate a time for the whole club since we all do want to work on this.
Yeah.
Since we're running out of time now, but
Yeah,
it's a
that's fine.
really great discussion to have.
And I don't really have a fundraising committee. Cause I haven't really tried to get one just because I feel like we're all the committee. So, but if anybody has any specific, things they want to address with me.
I think that's a good idea because you've got some individuals here, I could name names, but not that have had a lot of experience raising funds for their organizations that they've worked with. So I think you could benefit from seeing if you could get some of those key people involved.
Let me know who they are.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah,
And we will follow
absolutely.
this up both on,
Yeah.
figure out the right in-person follow-up time as well.
Yeah.
Thank you for your energy. and
Yeah,
appreciate
sure.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll do Andy's piece, next week or soon. So, all right.
All right.
Marty, you're up.
Before Marty goes, can I offer a quick Bill Skiff update?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So as we were meeting, I got a text from Bill's daughter, Robin. First, I have an address. You've been interested in that. They're suggesting that the cards plural be sent to Bill's son, Bill Skiff Jr. The address is 1621, I'll repeat that, 1621 Butternut Road in Williston. And then that's Bill Skiff Jr., that's Bill's son. 1621 Butternut Road here in Williston. And the other, but even more importantly, Robin shares a bit of good news is that Bill's making very good, making very good improvements, and it sounds like he may be able to transfer out of ICU soon.
Thank you for that.
That's really good.
So, I've decided I'm the chief non-commissioned officer of the club. Right. I want to just interject one thing. Believe it or not, we have to start thinking about the 5K. We don't have to do much now, but I'd love to get interested people who participated and will want to participate for a Zoom kind of thing, just to just strategize and decide if there's some new things we want to introduce. Again, we don't need to get into nitty-gritty planning yet. We sort of know how to do this by this time. But what I'll do is I'll send out some sort of an email and about that, hoping to do that in the next 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. So it's another event. So, all right, so I'll start things off. One, here's a happy thing for Bill Skiff's hopefully improving and getting out of that miserable ICU. Terrible. I spent a night there. Oof, terrible. And then $1 for my grandson, Sam, who got his graduation picture. He's not graduated yet. He still has a few courses to pass. But he was a very impressive picture, and he's got his diploma in one hand. Looks like he's about to swat a bug. Anyway, so that'll be mine. Why don't we start down here? Let's see, who's up for this?
I missed the last couple of weeks because I was doing the festivities, I guess you could call them, in Chittenden County Courthouse. I got a chance to see the process in person. For those of you that, think that the Lady Justice has hinges on her heels, as it appears in our Williston reporting in the local area, I would like to say that I did see a very positive result of a very nasty situation. So my faith is somewhat restored, although it took 2 weeks to do something that I could have done very quickly with a small shotgun. Just saying.
So say glad you're not on my jury.
But it was a satisfying conclusion to an ugly situation that required, a lot of very serious people going about hard work, which was, not pleasurable to see, but, fulfilling to see, I guess. Well, thank you, Jack. What you guys do, it's incredible, but 2 weeks in the courthouse was a little much.
I'm forgetting the Charles Dickens book about the lawsuit that goes on for infinite time and never gets settled, and the only people who stop it are the lawyers, of course, sorry.
No, not at all. There can't be a book like that.
Listen,
Oh, well, thank you for your service. I'm due next. I go February 5th, so I may or may not be here for a couple of weeks. And then $1 for Bill Skiff, because if anybody can do it, that man can. And thank you for bringing tears to my eyes, because I am so happy with that news. So for anybody who is a praying type, any good energy, please keep sending it to Bill and his family, along with everybody else in the world.
Walter, I got some money there, I want it.
This is for Bill. I just hope he makes a full recovery quickly.
Let's see, Dan.
All three are going for the Buffalo Bills. And snow.
Right, Susan?
I'll just add happiness over the positive news about Bill. And then I just want to compliment this club and your creativity and energy, which just every time we're together, I'm impressed by. So, and I need someone to please a raffle ticket because we almost
Oh,
got
right.
that. Did you buy a raffle ticket? Oh, who did not buy a raffle? That's the test.
I don't trust the tax. Unless you take 6.
687.
I knew I wasn't gonna win. I had 666 and you were gonna blow that.
Hey, Councilor Ted. So I have a happy find. My girls are back in college. They're both doing quite well. I had the pleasure of driving my daughter Julia down to New York on Sunday and coming back in one day.